Hi Natalie, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Thanks for coming in today. It's good to see you.
You too.
So we just went over the informed consent. Um, that was talking about the limitations of confidentiality and things like that. I was wondering if you had any questions about that.
No, everything was self-explanatory.
Okay, great. Okay, so today's session is going to be a number of things. We're going to review a number of different things. First and foremost, I'm interested to just kind of hear about what brought you in today. And after we get into that a little bit, I'm going to run through some different questions. Some may apply to you, some may not. This is, it's kind of like an interview between the two of us that will help me understand what direction we're moving towards in therapy. So I know, what we should be focusing on, what has nothing to do with kind of what brought you in the door today. So is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if you had to explain to me what brought you here today, what's been going on with you?
My mom made this appointment. I can't stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting myself into trouble, and I don't really know what to do. So it was suggested that I come talk to someone.
Okay. Okay, and talk about the drinking a little bit more.
I start when I wake up, and I don't stop until I go to sleep.
Okay. How long has that been going on for you?
A while.
A while?
Mm-hmm.
Like months or years?
Months at this point.
Okay. Okay. So let me just make sure I understand correctly. You live with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Been drinking pretty regularly, it sounds like, for a number of months. She's concerned about you and the effect that the alcohol is kind of having on your behavior. So she decided to make this appointment for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Now, what's the relationship like with your mom?
I mean, she lets me live with her. She's nice.
Mm-hmm.
She's not bad. We hadn't been very close most of my life, but it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So would you say that the relationship was worse, better, or the same before this habitual drinking kind of came into play?
Better.
Okay.
It was better before this.
Okay. So the drinking has been taking a toll on the relationship in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what does that toll kind of look like?
She's gonna kick me out. She doesn't want me to live there.
Okay.
This is kind of the last stop.
Okay, I understand. So she's sending you to therapy basically to make this problem better in order to prevent kicking you out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Outside of the relationship with your mom, what are some other significant relationships that you have in your life?
I have like 2 good friends. I don't really have many relationships.
Okay.
Just so far.
Okay.
Right now.
But 2 good ones?
Yeah.
Okay, and are those friends or romantic partners?
They're just friends.
Okay. And how long have you been close with these people?
Here, a couple years.
Couple years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have they ever expressed their feelings about your use of alcohol?
Yeah, they don't like it.
They don't like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it taking a similar toll on the relationship with those people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting, and it's good for me to know. Okay, well that's a good place for us to start. So from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into a couple of screening questions, which nothing to be nervous about. This is a standard protocol. Okay. So basically, they're all related to different disorders. A lot of times in therapy, we try to pinpoint a specific disorder or at least a cluster of disorders so we can understand how to treat it, what kind of therapy would be the most effective, maybe what types of medications might come into play, things like that. So, like I said, some of these may have nothing to do with you and sound like they're coming totally out of left field, but some may be more relevant to what you're going through. So you could just answer them honestly. And then we'll move on from there. So the first one is this. Would you say you're a nervous person?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
Okay.
All the time.
Always nervous? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that about, you think?
I don't know. Just always have had anxiety, always have something to be nervous about. No matter what. Driving,
Okay.
All of it.
Okay. So you always feel a sense of nervousness. Okay. And if you had to relate that to the use of alcohol, is there any type of connection there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like it makes it not so bad.
Okay. So you use it as something to alleviate that feeling of nervousness. Okay. So have you ever made that connection before, or is that something that you think about? Like I'm feeling nervous, so therefore I need a drink right now.
Not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking about it, but I guess I haven't before this.
Okay. So that's actually a good thing, in my opinion, that we're shedding a little bit of light on it, as far as like motivation to drink. Okay. Have you ever experienced fear so intense that you thought you might die or have a heart attack, or you couldn't catch your breath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk about that a little bit.
It happens out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It happens like while I'm driving sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I have somewhere to go, it'll happen right before that. I have to be around people.
Okay. So some of it is social, some of it is kind of just internal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it can be traced to something specific. Other times it comes out of nowhere. All right. That's a good insight that you have, at least. Are there any things you're afraid to do and many places you're afraid to go?
It depends if I'm drunk.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
If I'm sober, I can't really make myself do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm drunk, I'll do anything.
Okay. You'll go places and you'll be around people and you won't have a whole lot of fear going on.
Mm-mm.
Okay. But sober, it sounds like the fear is pretty paralyzing.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Are there activities that you're afraid to do in public, like giving a presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the example that they gave here, is that something that applies to you?
Yeah.
Giving a presentation
Yeah.
sounds pretty scary.
In front of people, anything in front of people, I don't like doing.
Okay. Yeah, giving a presentation drunk would be a little difficult, I think. You've done it. That's what I'm seeing on your face.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have particular fears that cause you special trouble, like, say, flying or heights or the sight of blood? Maybe getting an injection?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm not really scared of anything, any of that stuff.
Okay, not specifically,
No.
but sober, sounds like anything could be potentially.
Right.
Right.
I wouldn't jump off, a cliff skydiving sober, but drunk, I'd probably be like, let's go.
Okay, I understand. So it really does kind of change your perspective on things in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it sounds like to me it alleviates the anxiety, but then it also gives you like a sense of confidence and bravery and courage.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question is about being a worrywart. Would you say that you're a worrywart or unnecessarily anxious all the time about a lot of different things?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty similar to the first one
Yeah.
that we talked about, which is,
Just always nervous.
yeah, nervous more often than not.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have recurring thoughts that bad things will happen or repetitive behaviors that you feel driven to perform?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk about those a little bit.
Like that bad things will happen to me or to other people.
Either.
I just always think something bad's happening. I really can't explain it. It's just always there's like always some doom
Mm-hmm.
feeling all the time. With
Okay.
friends, the two that I have, I always
Mhm.
think something bad's gonna happen to them if I'm not talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of goes away when I drink. I don't really care about anything anymore.
Right. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense as to these factors that play into you drinking. You know, it
Mhm.
does sound like it really does a lot for you. The next question: have you experienced a traumatic event that haunts you with terrible memories, flashbacks, or nightmares? No.
Mhm.
Okay. Have you had symptoms of anxiety associated with medical condition like an overactive thyroid? Okay.
No.
Okay, good. So that's good for me to know. Okay, so the next screening question that we have here, how would you describe your mood? That's pretty related, I think, to what we were saying in the first section.
Yeah. Just nervous, but
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I think.
Nervous, but okay, but a little anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever get so depressed that you can't function?
No.
No?
Mm.
Talk about depression a little bit.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Do you experience depression, like, regularly?
No.
Okay. So sometimes that's important to know, because sometimes anxiety can be coupled with depression. You know, some people experience both, but it sounds like depression and that sad mood or those mood swings don't really affect you in that way. It sounds like the anxiety and the nervousness is the primary thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next question. Have you ever had unusual or strange experiences? No?
Mm-mm.
Everything is pretty standard, you'd think? Okay. So you don't hear voices or believe that people mean to harm you or lose touch with reality? No? Okay. Okay. Let's see, the next one here. Does your mind ever play tricks on you?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Are there any parts of your life that you can't remember?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And do you ever get the weird detached feeling that you are watching yourself go through the motions of life?
No.
Okay. That's good to know. Next question. Is food or eating a problem for you?
No.
No? Do others think or say it's a problem for you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. The next one, are you having problems dealing with stresses in your life?
No. I mean, I drink, but that's
Okay.
how I deal with it. So, like, it's not really I don't see it as a problem.
Okay. So you're dealing with it by drinking, and you don't view that as problematic, but obviously, like we discussed before, your mom and a couple friends do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it also sounds, interesting. It's to connect this to what we were talking about before. It's like not necessarily specific stresses either. It's kind of just life. It sounds like driving, talking to people, interacting with people, being around a lot of people. Mm-hmm. The anxiety and the nervousness can kind of come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one: have you had a big decline in memory?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Tell me about your use of alcohol and drugs.
Well, what do you mean?
Just kind of when it began, and maybe a little snapshot of the progression and some of the consequences, if any, that you've experienced as a result of drinking or using.
I've always, I've been drinking since I was really young. It just hadn't gotten bad until recently, I guess, a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got a DUI.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only real bad thing that's happened, I guess.
Okay. So, but that is definitely a tangible consequence legally, and maybe making it more difficult for you to drive now.
Okay.
Okay. So that answers the next question. Have you gotten in trouble because of alcohol? Any illicit drugs that you use recreationally or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No drugs, just alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Have you had thoughts of harming yourself?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Talk about that a little bit.
I just think I feel like it would be easier if I didn't have to be here.
Okay. Easier on who?
Everyone.
Okay.
And myself.
Okay. Has anybody ever told you that they believe that it would be easier without you here?
No.
Okay, that's kind of something that comes in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you think those thoughts, how serious do those thoughts become?
Pretty serious.
Okay. So as far as ideation goes, is it something that you've made a real plan to do in the past?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've obviously never followed through.
Right. What about attempts?
I haven't tried.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you said.
Right.
Okay. So it sounds like it's still something that you think about, and that you haven't ruled out as a possibility. Okay. So when you think about it and you have these ideations, what are they like? If you had to describe these, thoughts and feelings that you get.
I just get really overwhelmed. I feel like I wouldn't have to feel that way if I was dead. That's really it.
Okay.
just would be easier to shut it off.
Okay. And then never obviously have to revisit that.
Right.
Right. What role does alcohol play in these thoughts and these feelings?
I just drink until I fall asleep. It makes me not think about it.
Okay. So these thoughts and these ideations sound similar to the general nervousness and anxiety that you experience, where they're strong and then you drink and then they're less strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So alcohol is almost medicinal at this point. Okay. So you said you feel overwhelmed a lot, and that's just kind of with general life tasks and relationships and things that come with life. What's your purpose?
I don't have one, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't feel like I have one.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10, we'll say 0 being I absolutely have no purpose, and I know that for a fact, and I'll never find what my purpose is, to 10 being I know, one day I'll definitely figure out what my purpose is. I just don't know yet, but I know for a fact that I do have a purpose. Where would you say you fall on that scale?
Like a 5.
A 5.
I guess it's like a 50-50 chance.
Okay. You don't necessarily feel drawn to one side or the other. Okay.
No. I mean, I'm obviously more drawn to the
not having a purpose
yeah,
side. Okay.
But
so are there moments where you feel like you do have purpose?
Sometimes.
Or you might.
Not often.
Okay, not often.
Yeah.
So they're short-lived, but they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about anxiety. So I think that we have a pretty good understanding of the connection between these ideations that we're talking about now, the anxiety and the use of alcohol, and how the anxiety and these thoughts and feelings kind of play off of each other, and alcohol is like the cure-all, and it's able to quiet them down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you hear the word trapped, what do you think of?
That's how I feel if I'm not drinking.
Okay.
It's like trapped in my head.
Okay. Trapped in your head.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
I don't know. Like, just all that nervousness and anxiety. Like, feels like there's a weight on my chest and my shoulders, but when I'm drunk, I don't feel that at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So from what I'm hearing, being trapped in a mind that is constantly experiencing anxiety and purposelessness and, these types of feelings could be pretty hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about hopelessness a little bit.
Just the feeling that I'll never get out of this if I'm not drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared of something or nervous about something. It's just a bad cycle that I just feel like isn't going to end, but it's like a hopeless feeling that it's never going to go away.
Okay. So the thoughts and the feelings that you have while sober, you feel hopeless, that those are never going to go away.
Yeah.
And you'll never be able to feel almost that sense of ease and comfort when you're drunk. You'll never feel that when you're sober.
Right.
That's where the hopelessness comes from?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Talk about withdrawal a little bit, as far as withdrawing from social circles or withdrawing from hobbies or any other types of relationships, or what does that mean to you?
I mean, as I've gotten older, I feel like I've withdrawn from everything. I don't really talk to many people. I don't really do anything anymore. I used to do a lot, but I've literally withdrawn myself from everything.
What do you credit that to? What is that a result of?
I feel like probably my anxiety.
Okay. It's good insight.
Yeah.
So the anxiety is kind of pulling you away from things that you once liked to do. And it's also driving you to drink more, which, not to say that this applies to you, but a lot of times it's hard to maintain hobbies and relationships when, you're under the influence all the time. So it sounds like everything is kind of crosswalking and interacting with each other. What about anger?
Yeah, I'm angry all the time.
Okay.
I think it's more frustration than anger.
Okay.
little things set me off.
Mm-hmm.
I can be an angry drunk too, so that kind of is both sides of the spectrum, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So does your anxiety turn into anger sometimes?
I guess. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, it sounds like, being irritable and small things setting you off could be a result of being, anxious and on edge, and things are then affecting you in that way.
Yeah.
Where maybe if you were a little more mellow and something small happened, you wouldn't get so angry. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense? That kind of fits?
It does.
Okay. What about recklessness? What is that word?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you sound pretty sure of that one.
Because when I'm drinking, I throw everything to the wind,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do anything, which
Mm-hmm.
is how I got the DUI, and
Mm-hmm.
anything goes. It's super reckless behavior all the time.
Okay.
Which I know, which is why my mom made this appointment.
Okay. So the recklessness is maybe scaring her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. So the drinking itself could be reckless sometimes, but mostly the behaviors that come as a result of being drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the last one, mood changes.
Yeah. What about them?
Do you experience mood changes outside of drinking? Your mood's pretty stable, otherwise you're always kind of in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So switching gears a little bit, but still talking about these ideations that we're talking about, the thoughts of suicide or harming yourself. What would you say are some protective factors, as they say, or things that prevent you from going through with a decision like that?
I don't know that I fully want to do that. I think I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings, or
Okay.
the few friends that I do have, I don't think that I want to hurt them like that.
Okay.
So that's something I think about.
Okay, so your mom and your friends is something you think about.
Yeah.
And it also sounds like, since you're not, totally committed or convinced that that's a good idea, that suggests that there's a little hope there. You think that's true?
I guess.
Hope that it might get better, or that there's a better way to respond to what's going on than something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. All right. So what we're going to look at next is I'm going to ask you a series of questions that kind of address mental status, which is basically just the way that your mind works. So from right now until the end of the session, I'd like you to try to remember these 3 words. Okay? Bus, bird, and wind.
Okay. I'll try.
Just saying.
Bus, bird, wind.
Okay. So we're going to get into these questions. How are your spirits right now?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about when you're sad or angry?
I guess whatever's making me sad or angry at the time.
Okay. What's been on your mind lately?
I don't really know. I guess my ex, maybe.
Okay. Talk about him a little bit.
We were together for 11 years, and broke up about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. And you've been finding yourself thinking about him recently?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that about? Why do you think that is now?
Because he's about to get married.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that's has you ruminating a little bit, or being nostalgic maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still in love with him?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Can you spell the word world for me?
WORLD.
Okay. Can you spell that backwards for me?
DLROW.
Yes, exactly. Good job. Starting with 100, subtract 7 from 100, and then keep subtracting 7 from that number as far as you can go,
Right now,
if you don't mind.
from 100 minus 7. For how long?
Just do maybe 4 or 5.
93.
Mm-hmm.
86.
Mm-hmm.
79.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like
Okay.
that's good.
That's as far as you'd like to go? Okay. Starting with 20, subtract 3 from 20, and then keep subtracting 3 from that number as far as you can go.
17, 14,
Mm-hmm.
10, 11.
11? Okay. Maybe one more.
8. Nah, I can't do this.
Okay. 9?
9.
Okay. Okay, so we kind of did those. Let's see. What is my name?
Matthew.
Okay. What medications did you take today?
None.
Okay. What time was your appointment with me for today?
10.
Okay. Where were you when President Kennedy was shot?
I wasn't born yet.
Okay. What were the dates of your graduation from high school?
I think July 20th.
Okay, what year?
2001.
2001?
Yeah.
Okay. Name the last 3 presidents.
Obama, Bush, and Clinton.
Okay. Name the current president.
Trump.
Okay. How are the following items similar? An apple and an orange.
They're fruit.
Okay, what else?
They're round.
Okay. A chair and a table.
Legs.
Okay. Anything else?
They go together.
Okay. A watch and a ruler.
Numbers.
Numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What do they both do?
Measure.
Okay, great. All right. So that's all I had for you today. I really genuinely believe that we accomplished a lot today, and that we really got a good understanding of what's been going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what brought you into counseling and what direction we should be moving in. Most importantly, what I believe we should be addressing. But before we go, I'd like to ask you, what do you think you'd like to work on, if anything, in therapy? Is there anything that you would like to achieve?
Just coping mechanisms that don't involve drinking alcohol.
That sounds great.
That's it.
Okay. So you'd like to cope with the anxiety and the nervousness that we talked about without drinking. Okay. And do you think that that's realistic?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. So there's a little bit of hope there that we can kind of work together to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, great. Now, my last question. What were those 3 words that I asked you to remember?
Bird. Wind. Bus.
Awesome. I appreciate you being here today, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right.